I did two videos recently about Maria Valtorta, and one in Italian, one in English today. And strangely enough, these two videos have gotten so much discussion you would not believe for various reasons, and I don't want to get into it in this video. But in both videos, I said the same thing. I said it today, and I said it in the other video, trying to make the point on Maria Valtorta, that if you read her work, you will see what Christ is trying to do in souls, which is a work of metanoia, of he wants to lead us into his truth, which is a process of Theosis, deification, union with him. God became man to experience us, to lead us, to bring us into his kingdom. And so he's given us a way. I did it in the two videos. Strangely enough, when I did in today's video, and people caught up on this, when I made that point that if you read Maria Valtorta, you will see what Christ is trying to do. It's a process of theosis, deification, his message. It went blank. Whatever, I'm using this camo video on my laptop, and the audio went blank, which I don't know. And people were asking me, well, what were you trying to say? Well, I'm just going to say it here to you. That's what is happening in Maria Valtorta. I mean, if you read the Gospels themselves, you'll get the same message. Christ isn't contradicting himself. And this Sunday's Gospel, it's been about we're drawing near to the end of the liturgical year, and it's about being ready for Christ's coming, or for the moment we will meet him. But one thing that interested me a lot about the gospel, about Christ's message, is what did he ask us to do? What did Christ ask us to do? Christ didn't ask us to go and build buildings, churches, basilicas. Not that I've anything whatsoever against them, but he didn't ask us to do this. He didn't ask us to found different charities. Not that I've anything against that, or to have different congregations and all of this. If we go to the core of what we need to do as Christians, is to make disciples. It's one verb in Greek. And what is he asking he's asking them to do what they received from him. So he's looking at his disciples and said, look, I've been with you for 3 years. You've seen what I have done with you. Who you were before you met me and who you are after you met me. And there's a beautiful scene in Maria Valtorta. It is probably one of the most beautiful. I mean, even if this woman isn't inventing this whole work, which, is quite a feat, because it is so well written. There's a beautiful scene where all the apostles are gathered in Peter's house. And his wife, Porphyria, had been cooking all day and preparing for these apostles with Christ in her house. And there's this scene at the end of the evening where she is sitting in the room. They've finished eating, and she's listening to her husband, and she can't believe the change in Peter from the fisherman to the apostle, in that space of time. So she knew this man, the fisherman. He comes home, he goes out, the mundane, back and forth, nothing major happens, and all of a sudden Christ comes into his life. Christ completely changes his life, and he becomes Peter the apostle. And it's a beautiful interaction, but that's what Christ did when his message comes into your life. If you're really willing to receive it, you become different. You think differently. We should act differently. Our approach should be different. And the core of the Christian message is a personal transformation for one thing, and one thing alone. And if Christians do not get this, if Catholics do not get this, you have completely lost the Christian understanding of the faith. Everything that Christ is trying to do is for another soul. The mission of the church is so important. It's not just for you. If it were just for you, it's an ideology. Oh, I'm going to make you nice and warm and fuzzy and happy and everything, and you're going to have nice churches and you'll all get together. And Christ is saying, hold on a second. I gave you something for somebody else. The whole reason for Christ's coming, this message, this good news, was for somebody else. And how many people need this message today? Isn't it, if you actually, I just can't understand how anybody could live any other way. Isn't it amazing to know Christ, listen to him, see him, how he acts and what he does and what he's trying to do, and look at him, contemplate him? Yeah. Truly amazing what you're doing. You're changing. You're strengthening. You're transforming. It's for somebody else. The whole mission of the church is to give that message to somebody else, to make disciples. And that takes patience. That's why you read the canonical Gospels, you're going to get this, but I do highly, highly recommend that you read the works of Maria Valtorta, especially the big work that was the Poem of the Man God, or the Gospel as has been revealed to me. Read that and see what Christ is doing in the lives of his apostles. See how they're being transformed. See the mystery of Judah, the work of Peter. Study it, meditate on it, and you'll see the mission, what Christ was trying to do. He was always thinking of those that need his message. Oh, what a great message. This transforms lives. It changes everything. Completely changes everything. It is the core. In the midst of this church confusion, which the confusion is there, power and sex, that's what they're fighting over in Rome, power and sex. Oh, I can't do anything in the church unless I have power. Thank God I was never given power in the church. It would have been an absolute failure. Thank God. Don't need it. I will do the possible, and the power will come from him. He'll do a lot more than anybody with power in the church will do if it's not used for what he is asking us to do. Christ can transform anybody. The encounter with Christ is incredible. And he'll transform you so you can help transform others. This is the mission. So let's pray for those who have power in the church, that they wake up and understand what they should be doing is making disciples to transform this world. Give us Christ. Give us Christ. We don't need more of the world's wokeness on every press conference. We're fed up. People are fed up with the synodality process from day one. This Hegelian whatever discussion, thesis, antithesis, and all coming together to arrive to a synthesis. Christ didn't give us a synthesis document. He gave us a deposit of the faith. It worked for 2,000 years. Bring it out. Come on, bishops, prelates. I see one bishop in Indonesia now who is going to become cardinal in December has decided he doesn't want it. Maybe he's woken up. He doesn't need the honours and the power. I don't know. You know, the church needs to get back to the bread and butter of the faith. Give the world Christ in your example. Be other apostles. You know, power doesn't give you union with God. But anyway, that's just my thoughts. God bless you. And I do highly recommend read the works of Maria Valtorta. I say the works because it's not just that big work. Read those works. There's so much division and opposition to those works being fully known in the church. There must be something there that mystic has to offer the church today. God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.